Mamluks declared this war. The Mamlukian reconquest of Al-Quds.
And Rome has fallen to Croatia.
Oh my.
Prussia pieced out. Meanwhile, the Mughals still in the war, but their entire army exiled because they were in Prussia. So the Mughals are going to need to make the slow walk home in order to turn around and get back into the fight again.
It's adjacent. It's Luxembourg. It's adjacent to Verdun, but it's forming up again over there.
Close enough. France now with 133 discipline. France's quality has gone up pretty dramatically. Their morale is still kind of low. But
did you by any chance see what Prussia lost in the war, or was they just get weight pieced out?
I have not seen. Let's take a look. So Prussia, go over to the diplomacy map mode. They lost a couple of territories down in Ukraine: Cherkasy, Zaporizhia, Ingil, and Yedesan.
Not
to
much,
Persia.
honestly.
No. I mean,
4 dev, 3 dev, 4 dev, 11 dev.
So the beginnings of Italy's woe against Croatia was when Prussia unconditionally surrendered and the Croatians took all of Italy instead of Prussia. Like, Prussia has gotten so lucky in a number of wars that they've lost just because they haven't actually lost anything, because their allies have been bleeding for them. Anyway, we have got 250,000 French and British fighting against the 170,000, 190, 200,000 Swiss and Hanoverians, with a bunch more on the way in, although the British and the French still showing that they have got rather deep reserves of manpower. Although Britain's down to 63,000, but I'm guessing... Nope, they are tapped for professionalism. Britain is almost out of this. France still with 150.
While that was going on, Persia blitzed through Stronghai's eastern corridor there into their heartland. Stronghai is fighting Ayutthaya, and it looks like they're going to get a solid win down there. But only if they can win before the reinforcements from Persia show up, which they have.
Which they have, but even then, Persia's quality is like twice that of what Stronghai has. So although Stronghai might have numbers, frankly, so does Persia.
Yep.
And Stronghai is 0 manpower, with 0 professionalism, and 0 money. They are 32 loans, 18,000 ducats in debt right now, losing 161 ducats a month.
You know what I'm really starting to realize about EU4 these days is that the meta was always, the military side of things, obviously. That was, who's got the strongest military matters. But we're clearly seeing that we're getting to a point where you can get strong militaries and enough manpower through different means now. And it's coming down to who can afford to pay the troops the longest.
Yeah. And armies are really expensive because you are no longer so reliant on mercenaries, which the cost kind of stayed linear. Whereas here you're paying reinforcement costs, and those go up the more men you lose.
Mm-hmm. Which I mean, seeing the small shift in meta over the years has been fun.
Yeah, and that's definitely one of the really cool things about game development, especially when there's a game which is very often releasing updates, is it does shift. New mechanics are introduced which change things pretty dramatically. And that's outside of the patches, which can tweak a number here or there.
We got a big battle forming up in Hanover. It looks like are the French going to get involved?
The French have done a couple of battles where they just kind of sat out. They're just like,
yeah. I think they just went, nah, you got it. Yeah.
Yep,
like, nah, you got it. You're fine.
We siege Luxembourg. That's all we needed.
British stack wipe coming in.
Yep, absolutely. 82,000. France moving,
Now
but they're not force marching. They just stopped and then force marched. So France is actually rallying.
Man.
They're like, okay, that's a problem.
Oh. I love that the French just sat there and went, yeah, the British can die for all I care. But then when it was a 90,000 man stack wipe, they were like, oh shit, we gotta help.
So 300,000 Hanoverians against 180,000 Brits, but we did just get the glorious monument pop up, which I think means that Köln has indeed been upgraded to the fullest extent. So I'm guessing that chat voted that Hanover deserved a cathedral.
Solid yes, solid yes in chat. Check Andalusia. All right, popping back down. Well, the borders have kind of normalized.
Have Andalusia pieced out? Nope.
Andalusia has shifted south to fight off the Persians and are doing it handily. Persians are about to be kicked out of Strong High, and did they just get stack wiped?
I don't know.
I think Persia. I just caught a glimpse of it. I think Persia just got stack wiped on one of their armies, and Ayutthaya lost a battle to Strong High, so all armies are getting kicked out now.
So we currently have 85,000 Andalusia against 35,000 Persians. Both of them have about the same morale. Persia's being rather lower than I remember it being. Same. This is like identical, but numbers.
Oh, rough.
And Andalusia's force marching. They are deciding not to chase, though. They're actually backing off.
I think it was just a temporary, I'll come down to help just to keep you in the war, but now I got my own stuff to worry about.
Yeah, and they are indeed going back to rejoin their main forces because they are clearly anticipating an invasion by the Mughals into Tirana once again.
Mm-hmm. You can see, they can see each other stacking up now, yeah? Yeah, they can both see each other.
Oh, Croatia's out of the war. Just noticed that.
Did they run out of... They didn't run out of manpower.
They didn't run out of money either, I don't think. Oh,
No,
loans.
seven loads deep. They were... Croatia was in a unique position to keep the war funded for a very long time and enough manpower in the field for a very long time. I wonder why they left.
It's an interesting question. Looks kind of like they left at the same time as Prussia. Maybe they were in that same war, so when the war ended, Croatia was kicked out, and that was the only fight they were in.
Another 500,000 men dying in Hanover now, and walls.
Yeah, but this is France now starting to push back against Hanover, so the initial nibbling bites taken into Luxembourg and Liège and Verdun seem to be getting reversed, and the burden is now falling upon Hanover. 350,000 against 250,000, though there are a bunch of Swiss forces still able to march in and join the fight.
Yeah, and those Swiss troops, oh my god, the morale is now 8.3. It's even higher than it was before.
That's the army tradition kicking in, and probably prestige as well. So Hanover's prestige right now is 100, so yeah. They are going to be sticking in these fights for quite a long time. Britain with 125 discipline to 120. Not a huge difference. Both sides...
got 21... Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, Golden Era, Crusade, Papal Blessing, Prestige, Army Tradition is another 21%. Military Zeal Act, Field Priest and Soldier Prayer Books. I think that's from Religious Ideas or something like that. The Flesh is Weak. Expansion is Zealotry. So many modifiers in there.
And there we go. Hanover just saw off another invasion by the French and the British. Britain did not shatter.
Oh, God.
Britain's about to lose 167,000 men. It is going to be a heck of a blow against the Brits here. Oh, that is... Oh, man, that's going to be really painful. There's a French army standing right next door. But I don't think they're going to be able to do much about this. This is a -2 for the Hanoverians. Britain reinforced by the French. The French did manage to block the stack wipe. But then France... Did France get stack wiped?
No, they got out in time. They lasted long enough to be able to retreat.
Oh, that was a bit close.
It was close. If they managed to get the full stack in there sooner, I think they would have been okay. But they only had one stack in for the majority of that. But they narrowly avoided a absolute disaster there.
But I have great news for all involved in this conflict, particularly the British, because the West Indies have arrived. They have 11,000 that just marched into Groningen, decided it's a bit cold, and now they're getting back on the boats to go back to the West Indies. But hey, it's good to see you here, colonies.
Exactly. Great Britain, I would like to point out, Great Britain is now 34 loans deep and taking more. So they're starting to scrape the barrel on funds too.
And I was thinking maybe that's because they're taking on the financial burden for France. But no, France is 44 loans in debt right now. That is 28,000 ducats in total.
There's a naval action going off at Helgoland.
Yep, we've got Bahmanis coming in and thrashing the British West Indies. And the Royal Navy has been chastened by the three-star admiral.
There's like a number of more high seas fleets. That was a minor defeat, but still a British defeat on the seas is a morale victory.
Yeah, but that was 13 heavy ships that they just lost a battle with.
I mean, well, there's a fleet of 20, there's a fleet of 28, there's another fleet of 20, there's a fleet of 9. They got a lot more.
Fair enough, but yeah, still one defeat, and that image of invincibility has been shattered. forever.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see. Is North Africa, how's that shaping up?
At the moment, a bit of a snooze fest with the Mughals just sitting in the Jerusalem territories. Tirana still being held by the Mughals, and in fact, the Mamelukes have pushed on. They are currently trying to siege down Bardia, so it does look like Andalusia must have just lost a battle. Although they're coming in now, 92k.
Yeah, they've got hundreds of thousands of troops, 3-star general. I think they're ready to contest the fort. They don't want it to fall. They don't want them getting any further.
Yeah, 7%. We've got the Persians with their 3-star general coming in as well to face off against the Andalusian 3-star general. The Mamelukes immediately... Oh, that's a lot of morale to lose really early on. But the Persians, I think? Yeah, the Persians did arrive in time, bringing the 3-star general into the fray. 118% discipline against 115. 6.3 morale on Persia's side against 6.6 on Andalusia. Again, actually pretty balanced fight in this.
One of the more balanced fights we've seen. Normally it's one side's kind of head and shoulders above the other, but right now it's very even.
Everyone's like, money wins this, but to be honest, the 8 morale is carrying everything so far. That's true, and actually we should probably investigate where on earth Hanover's getting the money to pay for their continual battles. Because they got to be hurting as well, if Britain and France are hurting as much as they are.
Let's see. They're not going to get any subsidies. They're 103 loans in, and at 16,000, so they've run through half the money since we've seen them last. It could be gifts, though.
That's a lot of loans.
103 is about a few.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the fight in Bardia has really started to expand. 170,000 on the Persian side against 184,000 Andalusia. It does look like the morale is on Andalusia's side, but we do have another 120,000 Persians coming in, another 30,000 Andalusians, but that's it. So Andalusia, if they are not able to beat the Persians in this round, Persia has a lot of extra troops. That's another 60k that just exited the fog of war. And it looks like Andalusia is still holding just about. Can those Persian reinforcements arrive? If they keep on force marching in like they are, then yes.
They made it.
And the back line of Persia is starting to shatter. They really need to get that fifth. No, too late.
Oh no.
That was some pretty badly timed battles, and now they got a 60k.
Leader, but a couple good rolls may save that army. Maybe?
No.
Nope.
It's a front line with no back line. That's pretty much a death sentence at this stage of the game.
Nope. That
Meanwhile,
was,
600,000 people fighting in the territories of Luxembourg. However, Hanover did just retreat half their armies. Russia is here. Russia has entered the fray. Russia has arrived.
How is Russia doing, though? They've got no manpower. They are out of people. Russia has officially run out of people.
One thing that Russia has not run out of, though, is money. They've still got a surplus of 57 ducats. They have no loans.
They're in the clear financially.
It's probably because their army is fairly small.
Yeah, and Andalusia was just like disaster. Yeah, that was a pretty bad loss for Jerusalem there. And now they are trying to siege back their territory. Solid.
So I'm seeing there's a fort now in Rosetta. I'm wondering if the Knights are thinking about fortifying this area a bit more. Cairo's got a level 4 fort. So it looks like they've learned their lessons fighting against all the forts on the other side of that border. They might be trying to fortify a bit more themselves.
Just pop it around the world now, seeing if we're missing any fronts.
We have reached 10 million casualties, including attrition, in the war of Mamelukian aggression against France. 3.7 million losses on the French side against 5.75 million on the Mamelukian side. 865,000 losses to attrition on the French side to 1.76 million on the Mamelukian side, and that is over 10 million in this one battle.
Well, we've officially reached statistics levels of casualties.
It is no longer murder, it is now definitely statecraft. Meanwhile, Bahmanis are fighting against the Royal Navy once again. 20 heavy ships facing off against 27. And Bahmanis are winning. Like, they've double the morale. Well, not double the morale, but they have double the morale in this current fight. They have got 81 engagement with against 60 just because this admiral is so good. Mir Farka Shah is just demolishing the British. And there we go. 2 Royal Navy fleets sent packing again by the Bahmanis.
Obviously, that was the Colonials' fault. They did not fight appropriately.
Obviously. And Bahmanis are about to drive in the wedge as the troops now fresh arrived from India are joining the front lines, not only at sea but also on land, with 137,000 troops against the 83, although France and Britain are funneling additional forces into the fray, but Russia is waiting here in the wings, waiting to do their bit.
Britannia rue the waves. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Stealing.
Yep, for sure. So 180,000 against 163,000. We still have well over 100,000 Frenchmen ready to join the fray. 160,000 Hanoverians sitting right next door. France, it has to be said, doing a rather better job spreading their troops out and not just sitting in a doom stack taking 3.2% attrition. But hey, each to their own.
Let's see. I'm just checking on Switzerland right now. Switzerland has 0 loans. They have not taken a single one just yet. They are running low on manpower, but they've barely touched their professionalism.
Yeah, so again, with Switzerland, look at their mercenary companies and see how much manpower the mercenary companies have. That's the real metric for them.
The Swiss could stay in this for a very long time.
And the Swiss are currently trouncing the British and did just send them packing. Britain thinking, haha, I'm going to flank them. And then the Swiss are like, no, I'm flanking you. And we have now got 300,000 against 280,000 with the 90,000 victorious Swiss waiting in the sidelines, ready to do their part. France taking the -2 again, just one of many that we have seen today.
Lots of people perfectly willing to take the -2 modifiers in these battles.
And we now have more than 500,000 people active in this engagement. We've now got over 600,000 active in this engagement. Remember, if this goes over 700,000, that's probably a new record, and we do probably have enough troops standing there ready to do this.
Call to arms just came in on Hanover. Your nation of Romania, faithful allies, requesting you to come to aid in the Croatian conquest of Constantinople.
Ooh,
what?
Croatia strikes.
What? Croatia versus Romania, Finland, Hanover, Jerusalem, Mamluks, Prussia, Russia, and Switzerland.
Weren't Croatia and Romania allied in the war that we are currently witnessing? I'm pretty sure they were.
I think this is a matter of, okay, we're coming up on the end here. Let's full chaos this. I love it.
And Croatia definitely still has the reserves to do this.
Mm-hmm.
We're currently looking at a 650,000 clash going on. Another 75,000 Brits coming in, but I think that's going to be it. France
600,000 men fighting in North Africa too. Oh my god.
There were about 2 divisions left when the Brits arrived, but it's too little too late, and Hanover wins again.
700,000 men just fought north of Cairo. Andalusia was sent packing.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the remnants of that now. The Andalusians retreating through Tirana. Clearly the defense of Alexandria was not in vain.
Romania is in a really rough additional conflict with Croatia here. -2 and has an inferior military.
120% discipline against 120, but it's the morale that's really the kicker. 5.8 against 7.7. And it looks like the secondary Romanian army, which is trying to force march in to reinforce, is going to hit a group of Croatian artillery. That's a siege army. That's only artillery. Oh no, they did bring in some infantry as a belated reserve, and it does actually look like the Romanians with no general are being seen.
Yep. Again, I think, did they get stack wiped?
No, now they did. That was a bug, but yeah, they stacked.
Oh, okay, because they just disappeared on my screen. I can't wait to scanderbeg this after the fact and see what like the total casualties are.
Oh, it's going to be high. I mean, we've had that one war, just the one of like the 6 that were declared to make this happen, with 10 million.
And that's not including the people who were separate pieced out, like Italy or Croatia or Prussia. And that's not counting Prussia's casualties.
What we saw in the First World War is they suffered in that one war 20% of the casualties of the entire game to date.
Oh boy. That is about a few. And again, just to point out the importance of forts, the fort line in Andalusia along the North African coastline has kept the front line stagnant and stable even through major losses for the whole war.
Yeah, and we can say the same about the Liège-Luxembourg line, Maginot line, in fact,
Yeah.
has kept this stable and strong the entire time. Really goes to highlight the importance of A, having a decent economy, or at least a money lender that can give you the economy to keep going. And forts. They're good.
Mhm.
Build them.
Croatia doing a good job against Romania. It looks like they are blitzing their way in. And again, forts. Romania has level 2 forts still.
And Croatia is saying thank you very much and taking them.
Oh, we do have a big battle. Oh, never mind. They changed their mind.
So
For a
just-
hot. Oh, no. There we go again.
Just looking at exactly what Croatia is up against here. That's a lot of red.
Hey, it is the First World War. It's Gallipoli.
No, it is
We're
as well.
Gallipolying.
It is. 135,000 Croatians against 81,000 Romanians, with another
look,
bunch of Romanians.
The Romanian reinforcements are getting pinned down by a flanking force to the north.
That was a very nice flank there by the Croatians. They really are kind of the unsung military heroes.
I don't think the Romanians saw the flanking force coming because their reinforcements were just sitting there waiting.
And the first army has been sent packing. The second army is about to get sent packing. Even though they got fantastic generals, their just general quality of their army is just not able to deal with the Croatians. And even if they had better troops, Croatia is currently sitting on 577,000 manpower.
Another big battle forming in North Africa. A couple 100,000 troops, probably 500,000 waiting in the wings in total on both sides.
I just want to say that Croatia gained 6,000 manpower a month. That's
Prussia,
6
not
new
Russia.
regiments.
Prussia. It's 6,800 a month. Almost 7,000.
So yeah, we have the 400,000 man army currently fighting, or 400,000 battle still being fought. 300,000 on the Mamluk side, 200,000 on the Andalusian side. That is now a 500,000. We've got 90,000 more from Jerusalem, another 45,000 under that, and then another 200,000 from Andalusia. But there are a bunch of Persians still sitting in the rear ranks, ready, possibly not very eager to join this fight as well.
Yeah.
We're now over 600,000.
It's 80,000 Mughals back there.
Is it-
No, they're on the move now.
Is this going to be it? Are we going to see the 700,000 record surpassed? I think we might. We're at 670,000 right now.
Die less slow, damn it. Or die less fast. Word mouth.
I was
You know
going to
what I
say.
mean? We're at the end of this. I've been watching it since the beginning of yesterday. I'm tired.
Yeah. All right, so
Going
that's
for a long time.
That's still 600,000. There's another 100,000 on the way in. And Jerusalem could also send in another 100. But no, they are dying too quickly. Like, the Andalusian side's losing 5,000 a tick. And Mamluks were losing like 2,000, 3,000. There it is.
Stack reinforcements are getting stack wiped.
This is a 72k stack. There's another 40. I'm actually surprised, like, the 70s have been that quick to destroy, and yet this 40 remained.
Probably the better generals.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And also, it was infantry. This is clearly mercenaries. It's a bit more mixed.
Roll to 0.
There they go. Not a stack wipe, though.
Not a stack wipe, but a devastating loss.
Meanwhile, Constantinople has fallen.
All right, so we're gonna do a poll in chat about who is the undisputed MVP. Let's try to narrow that down a little bit. Let's say military MVP of the 2021 Grandest Land. So who should we have on it? Because we can't put every single team on there, but I think we need to put on Prussia, Croatia, Switzerland, Hanover. I'm actually going to say Russia doesn't deserve to be on the list for military strength here.
Now, I disagree with that, because Russia is also Novgorod from yesterday, which won some of the earliest wars. I would say that Russia deserves to be on there.
Okay, Croatia, Hanover, Prussia, Russia. Who am I missing? The Swiss. I think that's a good list.
So who's on it?
Croatia, Hanover, Prussia, Russia, Swiss. Maybe we'll do some more polls because we can only put 5 on there at a time. I'm watching the poll right now, and I'm not sure we needed 5.
Really? I can guess who's first.
It's pretty lopsided right now.
Yeah, I can definitely guess who's first.
Hanover wins with 54% of the total vote. Andalusia, spelled wrong, is at 29%. And then Croatia, 15. Russia and Prussia together only got 18 votes. So everybody agrees. Russia, Prussia, paper tigers.
Interesting.
Prussia got 4 votes total. I think if Prussia hadn't collapsed economically before they ran out of manpower, everybody would have felt a little bit differently. But Hanover head and shoulders above everybody else.
I would definitely agree with that assessment. Oh, we got the Royal Navy coming out against the Bahmanis again.
I think Prussia got angry about what just happened because they just declared war.
I just want to see this because the British, they've got another like 80 heavy ships ready to join this. I think they're going to be trying to feed them in slowly but surely so that they don't have the full... No, they misjudged the first fight.
Yeah, and now they're getting their butts handed to them again.
Yeah, like this level 3 admiral's just godlike because it gives them so much engagement with. That leader maneuver plus 50%. Although, to be fair, Lawrence Cornwall's also good. And that's the second one that they've won. And then the Navy decided to dock up so they could repair.
Yeah. Changes to Naval Combat a couple DLCs ago. The first person to start losing is going to lose.
Yeah. Like, morale loss from losing ships, super important now, especially with galley combat. And then engagement with, really important too. And that's all down to maneuver.
Yeah, which is why you never want to mix ships in your fleets anymore. Because before you could be like, just throw the light ships in there, whatever. But because they're so easy to kill, and the morale shack from losing ships is so bad that they're just a liability.
They can be, but light ships also use less of the combat width. I mean, it kind of depends. Do you have light ship abilities? If you do, then maybe. If you don't, then no. And why
I love that
combat between galleys and heavy ships is really interesting because
broke 700,000 in North Africa.
Oh, this I have to see. Yeah,
it's below it now, but it was about 720,000 when I looked, and that was late in the battle, so it was probably way more than that earlier.
Well, there's another 30k about to join, and 1.7k going out to the ships apparently. Maybe to try and get kill the shatters. That's an interesting strategy.
Trying to get in behind them?
Ah.
Is that what they're doing?
I think so. Yeah, they're landing over here to try and catch the shatters. Although only with 1.7k, which seems a bit low. And the Persians only shattered right next door. Persia might be in trouble here if the Andalusians notice. I'm not sure they have.
They're locked in movement, so I don't think they can take advantage. Oh, and somebody asked, Prussia declared war on Bavaria, I think it was?
Oh yeah, of course. Totally forgot about that particular fight. Bavaria and Saxony.
It's just a CB. Yeah,
also,
so late game, no CB.
Yeah, and France and Britain did join in that fray as well on Prussia's side. Meanwhile, we have got the 17th Battle of Verdun going on at the moment. 226,000 Frenchmen versus 180,000 Swiss and Hanoverians.
Poll in chat too. This is economic MVP. Bahamanis, Kazan. Great Britain, Netherlands / Colombia, Italy. Well, the Swiss are actually losing a battle this time.
So they are, with the French having a lot more troops to throw in, but I kind of wonder just how many loans France is currently on. 36,000 ducats in debt, losing 500 a month. So are Britain. Britain's now 123 loans in debt.
Okay, so apparently we're trying to endgame this because there are some Colombians invading the referee nation.
Really?
Yeah, Bermuda.
Now, does the referee nation have an army? They do. 62,000. Currently facing off against Italy.
Valiant effort. Colombia trying to sneak in there at the end.
I mean, with the amount of money that we know the referees have, that could be a pretty Pretty nice payday. It's payday.
And unfortunately, the invasion of Bermuda was unsuccessful. Valiant effort from Colombia, though.
Kind of curious, like, what are the stats of the referee nation? National idea, stability, cost modifier, advisor cost, discipline, national tax. Okay, these are just the generics. And it doesn't look like they've been, like, given buffed military stats or anything like that, so that could have been really dangerous.
I mean, there's 8,000 troops doing a naval invasion. They weren't going to stand up to much.
Against,
but
like,
it was
70,000.
a nice try.
Like if Britain with 500 transports rolled up or something, that could be a different situation.
And Constantinople, aka Byzantium, popped out of Romania. Yup, and allied with Prussia and France. Oh wait, no, I'm looking at Great Britain because of that weird thingy.
Andalusia has peaced out.
Prussia and France. No, I'm not.
They are out of the war.
Out.
Andalusia's.
They are out.
Oh, no, they lost Jerusalem. To the Mamelukes. Not even to Jerusalem. Oh, come on.
And we are going to have one more poll coming up in a second here, guys. So keep an eye on chat. Most beloved by chat. And I think I know who it's going to be.
I have an inkling too.
I'll kowtow to the horsey boys.
This is where we'll put the horse head on.
I'm sorry, I'm not Alex. I don't have a horse head. I got a lot of hats in my all.
Uh-oh. Did we just lose a Ben? Okay. Well, Ben is probably off looking for the horse's hat somewhere or other. Clearly, the excitement got too much for him, and he crashed his Discord somehow. But do we have the poll up? Another poll in just a moment. Apparently, Ben Magnus's electrics crashed. Thank you, Leah. Anyway, are there any last-second things going on? So it has definitely been decreed that Jerusalem has been returned to the Mamelukes, turning full circle there. And we've got another naval battle going on. The Bahman is taking all comers right now. 71 ships against 26. This belonging to Friesland, which is a AI. Then we've got the Hanoverians still gamely fighting in that war against the British and the French, and I need to see how many losses there have been incurred in the war of Mamlukian aggression. We have now got 4.5 million losses to 6 million. So in terms of the non-attrition casualties, we are now over 10 million losses. 10 million. With another 2 million in attrition. And with that, the poll is in. And starting in 5th place. Hey, Ben. Is Ben back on?
Uh-huh. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hello.
I lost power there right at the end.
All right, so we are just sharing which team won chat's heart today. And in 5th place, we have Prussia. In 4th place, Strong High. 3rd place, Jerusalem. And then there was a bit of a fight between 1st and 2nd. And the decision as to which of Kazan or Great Britain truly won your hearts came down to 200 votes. Actually, it's more than it sounds like.
5% total.
Yeah, 45% went to one, and 50% went to the other. With Great Britain eventually edging out Kazan, Great Britain has been elected as the most beloved of the nations that we have been watching here in the Grandest Virtual Party over the weekend. And that is pretty freaking awesome. Well played,
I think
everyone.
he may have overtaken the Horsey Boys there when he went like 5-on-1 and came out a victor.
Yeah, quite possibly. I mean, the thing with Kazan is they've just been such a great character throughout, but in terms of like the mechanical plays and just the things achieved by Britain on multiple different fronts, really won out. And the British team showed their capabilities.
I'm personally a big fan of them rules lawyering the treaty they had with the Dutch about non-aggression and funneling money to the French to siege down the Dutch.
Nice. I was kind of wondering if, because we've had NPCs in the background, whether the judges were bribable, because the traders could have done that.
I would imagine.
Yeah, I would have thought so. I would have tried it. Didn't want to say it at the time in case we influenced player actions, but I did wonder that. Like, we have an NPC who's the spy mistress. She could probably put in a bit of a nudge. We have the trader, of course, who I'm sure... Meanwhile, we have another thing for us to show off that is going to be coming up on chat very, very soon. That is really, I think, an excellent testament to what's happened this weekend.
That is beautiful. I love how instead of like a little character, there's actually a horse on one side.
Wait, is there?
On the left.
Oh, so there is? Oh, amazing. See that level of detail. Beautiful. Love it.
Somebody in chat did just ask if the Byzantium got released. Yes, it did by Croatia.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I didn't see that at the time. Very, very swish. And with that, I think it is time for us to draw things finally to a wrap. Ben, do you have any final words for us?
I just want to say thanks to everybody for watching. This has been another amazing Grandest Land. I really have enjoyed taking part in these and doing the casting the past couple of years. And thank you, Mordred, for joining me here. It's been a lot of fun working with you again.
Thank you, really, everyone, for watching. This has been an awful lot of fun to do. I am so happy that we were able to put this on and get a bunch of absolutely brilliant, and I cannot stress this enough, absolutely amazing players together to get a fantastic game going. Like, you guys have been a pleasure to work with. This has been a lot of awesomeness. And I also want to say a big thanks to the people at Paradox who have been putting on this show. It's been great.
Thanks, live content, for being in the office this whole time.
Yeah, and listening to me rambling on, even though you're doing the twirly thing. Anyway, I think that is going to be it. So thanks, everyone, for watching. We will see you next time, hopefully in a live castle. Until then, bye-bye.